Over the last few years, my team and I have coached over 500 tactical athletes. We've helped guys earn their Green Berets, become Rangers, MARSOC Raiders, SWAT, federal agents, local law enforcement, or just get in shape and ready for anything. And honestly, most guys are not failing because they are lazy. They are failing because they are pouring effort into the wrong thing. So in this video, I'm going to walk through the 3 mistakes that keep tactical athletes stuck and what to do instead so you actually move forward and make progress over the next 6 to 12 months. And the first mistake is majoring in the minors. I get questions all the time from guys who want to know the best supplement for recovery, whether their zone 2 pace is too slow or what time of day is best to train. And none of these are bad questions. They matter at some point, but the problem is most of the time they are coming from guys who do not have the basics in place yet. Training is hit or miss, nutrition is sloppy, and there's no real structure outside of just working hard when they feel motivated. They're trying to tweak details before they have earned the right to care about those details. Cold plunges, saunas, supplements, exact heart rate numbers, perfect pre and intra workout fueling, all of that can absolutely be useful, but it is not the foundation. The main movers are boring and simple. You train consistently, you eat mostly quality food in a calorie and macro range that matches your goal, you get real sleep, not 4.5 hours and a bunch of white monsters throughout the day, and you control what you can with stress instead of lighting yourself up with chaos throughout the day. If those basics are in place for months, you will make progress even if the plan is not perfect or optimized. And once you have that foundation, then the smaller questions start to matter and you actually get more out of the details. Until then, majoring in the minors is just a way to feel busy while you avoid doing the simple things that actually move the needle. The second mistake I see is believing that more always equals better. And this usually shows up after a bad week. Someone misses a few sessions, work gets crazy, they were in the field, maybe they just fell off. And instead of taking a breath and returning to the normal plan, they decide they're going to try to make up for that lost time. So they double up sessions, stack long runs and heavy lifts together, and turn every workout into a grind. And what actually happens is pretty predictable. They end up wrecked with soreness that hangs around for days, joints start to ache, sleep gets worse, and the next week they are dragging and either backing off completely or they just go through the motions. More only helps when you can recover from it and repeat it. Volume matters when you can handle something similar the next week and the week after that. Especially for selection prep, the goal is not just one perfect week or one crazy workout. You need to be able to show up again and again under stress. I would rather see an athlete run 3 times a week every week for 6 months than see him run 6 times a week for 2 weeks and then nothing for the next 3. And the third mistake, and probably the most common, is only being motivated in the gym. A lot of guys are animals for that 1 or 2 hour window. They push hard on their lifts, they suffer on the track, and they put out on the rucks. And they walk out feeling accomplished and convinced that they are doing everything they can to see progress. Then the wheels fall off the other 23 hours of the day. They're not tracking nutrition. They grab whatever is convenient. Bedtime gets pushed back because they stay up all night playing the new Battlefield. Whatever. Training is where you send the signal. That is where you tell your body that you want to get stronger, faster, or more durable. And your body can only adapt if the rest of your life supports that signal. If the raw materials are not there, if there is no fuel, no recovery, no structure, nothing happens. And the guys who really progress understand that. They still train hard, but they also respect the boring stuff. They shut down the screen at a reasonable time. They get their meals in. They keep an eye on their protein and macros, and they drink water like an adult. So those are the big 3 mistakes: majoring in the minors, trying to fix inconsistency with more volume, and being locked in for the workout and checked out for the other 23 hours of the day. Now, I want to walk you through what to do instead so you stop repeating these patterns and holding yourself back. The first step is to build your plan around a simple idea. What are the few actions that, if you did them almost every day for the next 6 months, would make it very hard not to improve? For most tactical athletes, it comes down to a handful of habits. You commit to a realistic training schedule that you can hit on an average week, not your dream week, your real life. That might look like 3 strength sessions and 2 runs. It might be 4 runs, 2 lifts, and a ruck. The exact layout will change based on your goal and your timeline, but the important part is that you can actually stick to it for months at a time. Next, you set a simple nutrition target. For most guys, this means hitting a reasonable protein goal, so around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every day, and staying roughly within the calorie range that lines up with your goal. If you need to lose weight, you stay in a small deficit that still lets you train hard. If you need to maintain or build, you eat enough to support performance. And you do not have to nail every single gram, but you do have to be consistent and honest about what you are eating on a daily basis. Then you set a floor with sleep. Your life might not allow for 8.5 hours every night, and that's totally fine and understandable. You decide your non-negotiable minimum and you start protecting that. Maybe that is 7 hours, maybe 6.5 for a period of time. You cut off screens earlier, you limit caffeine earlier in the day, you treat sleep like part of training because it's just as, if not more important. When you keep those 3 areas tight for months, everything else becomes easier. And at that point, if you want to add in tools, go for it. You want to hop in the cold plunge or sauna? That's completely fine. You want to dial in your heart rate zones for your aerobic work? Fantastic. You want to fine tune your pre and post workout meals? Even better. The difference is that now you are stacking these things on top of a solid foundation instead of using them to hide from the basics. Life is still going to punch holes in your plan. You're going to have field time, you're going to have overtime, sickness, kids, travel, it all happens. But when you miss, the goal is to not just erase the past. The goal is to get back on track as fast as possible. You return to the plan. You do not try to cram 5 days worth of work into 2, and you do not punish yourself with extra volume when you come back out of it. And if you approach it this way, your performance still trends up over time. Simply put, you stack a lot of solid, boring weeks. A lot of guys say they want a contract. They say they want to be selected and become a Green Beret or be in a certain place a year from now. But the proof is not in how you talk about it. The proof is in the small things you repeat when no one else is paying attention. Being serious about your goals is not just about how hard you push in the gym. It is about how you use the rest of your day to support the work that you did. And if you fix these areas and stay consistent over the next 6 months, you are going to feel it in your runs, your rucks, and how you show up under stress. If you want help building a training and nutrition plan that actually fits your life and the timeline you are on, you can check the link down in the description and see if our program is a good fit for you. Either way, keep it simple, stay consistent, and use your whole day to support the kind of athlete you say you want to be.